and welcome. Tonight, Governors Nyesom Wike and Samuel Otom challenged President Muhammadu Buhari to name governors responsible for mismanaging local government allocations. Convener of Big Tent and political economist Professor Pat Utomi says Nigerians are ready to support the Labour Party to resist any attempt to rig the 2023 elections. And on business news tonight, Nigeria's forex reserves dip for the 13th time in the week to $37.11 billion.
On sports news, Uruguay crash out of the 2022 FIFA World Cup on goals scored despite beating Ghana, who also exited the tournament.
Nation's capital, Nigeria's First Lady Aisha Buhari withdraws case against final year student of the Federal University Dutse, Aminu Adamu, who was accused of publishing defamatory statement on his Twitter handle against the First Lady.
And in international news from London, Russia says the West's refusal to recognize new territories seized from Ukraine makes peace talks harder, after President Joe Biden indicated he would be ready to meet Vladimir Putin.
We begin from Rivers State, where Governor Nyesom Wike and his Benue State counterpart, Samuel Otom, are challenging President Muhammadu Buhari to name the governors that are misappropriating local government funds. While Governor Wike described the accusation by the president as a class defamation, Governor Otom is challenging the anti-graft agencies to release documents to show that he is involved in the misappropriation of local government funds. Both governors were speaking during the commissioning of the Ngbo-Simini internal road in Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State.
It's the commissioning of the internal and ring road projects in Ngbo-Simini community in the Rumweme Kingdom, where the Port Harcourt campus of the Nigerian Law School is located in Obiakpo local government area.
Ezenwa Wike, Commander of the Order of the Niger.
Addressing the people, Governor Wike promises to do more in infrastructure development and employment following the support for his administration.
The point remains that very soon we will employ 5,000 youths into the civil service. And you must have your own quota. Do you understand me? You must have it. And see, when people say, because you are not supporting me, must I employ my enemy? Will I employ my enemy?
Governor Wike also seizes the opportunity to absolve himself from the accusation by President Muhammadu Buhari that governors are misappropriating local government funds.
I want to tell him, Mr. President, you're a leader, and we believe as leaders, you must come out and tell Nigerians who are those committing this offense. You said the governors are taking local government funds. I want to say, in the name of Almighty God, I've never touched local government fund one day. I have never, and I have no reason to do that.
Before commissioning the project, Governor Otom also distanced himself from the president's claim and challenges the anti-graft agencies to prove him wrong.
It is a logical fallacy to say that all governors are criminals. All governors are stealing from local government. I joined Governor Wike to say it from 2015. Let EFCC come in. Let ICPC come. Let every other agency that can unearth this, as far as Benue State is concerned, let them bring it out. So that we know the people. There is no point generalizing that all of us are evil people. I commissioned this ring road in the name of the Father, name of the Son, name of the Holy Spirit.
The road is then commissioned. The approximately 6-kilometer-long road is expected to ease traffic in the Obiakpo metropolis and improve the socio-economic well-being of the people.
Elsewhere, the convener of the Big Tent and political economist, Professor Pat Utomi, says Nigerians are ready to resist any attempt to rig the 2023 elections. President Tomi says this is evident in the larger number of volunteers who are willing to be party agents for the Labour Party in the elections. He was speaking during an interactive session with journalists in Abuja today, where he also notes that polling agents are the first line of protection against rigging in an election, and Nigerians are determined to enforce that come 2023.
In South Africa, the ward-level people discuss policy issues for the ANC. It goes from that ward level. That's what structure is. Not the criminal arrangements we have in Nigeria for rigging elections. Now we have, as Big Tent, worked at developing real structures. And they're going to be shocked by what they will see. The way that I have described the Big Tent organizational structure is an organic bulb of complex redundancy. What is an organic bulb? Take the onion, it's an organic bulb. Layers, layers. Many of the PWP support groups of their own have structure that can win this election. But when we then layer them one after the other in a coordinated arrangement, and the redundancy exists and is complex, they will find that at every ward, at every polling station on election day, we will have literally, in the worst kind of place, we will have 20 people who belong to this structure. In the past, what they used to do, they come, somebody doesn't have an agent or has some agent that has been given 5,000, or they give the person 30,000 and get away, my friend, and they write whatever result they want. It won't happen in this election.
With party politics, a group of mainly the All Progressives Congress members of Northern extraction led by the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Yakubu, has adopted the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, for the 2023 general elections. The group, named Northern Leaders Consultative Forum, made up of Christians and Muslims, adopted the PDP candidate after the report of its technical committee was presented to members at a public forum in Abuja. The report, signed by the chairman of the Northern Leaders Technical Criteria Committee and secretary, was presented by the former deputy governor of Kogi State, Simon Achuba.
After 3 months, people started chatting. The 7.5 years of APC government has endangered widespread national perception of its inability to tackle security challenges and turn around the national economy. Is that correct? 3, a further corresponding albatross on its neck is the unfortunate self-inflicted divisive same-faith ticket, which cannot guarantee the desired peace, unity, and cohesion in Nigeria, a decision that has been kicked against by a huge population of Nigerians. While the duo of NMPP and Labour Party may emerge as strong contenders in the political arena in the future, from all indications, PDP appears to be the best option to adopt and support. All it takes is to sustain and tackle some of the problems and challenges this country is facing. We hereby recommend for the adoption of the PDP to all lovers of democracy in Nigeria for the 2023 presidential election.
Staying with electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has fixed December 12, 2022 for the distribution and collection of all permanent voter cards, PVCs, nationwide. A statement by the Commission's Director of Voter Education, Mr. Festus Okoye, notes that PVC collection will be done in all the 8,809 registration areas and wards from Friday, the 6th of January to Sunday, the 15th of January 2023, after which the exercise will revert to the local government offices of the Commission until the 22nd of January 2023. The statement also directs all resident electoral commissioners and electoral officers to meet with critical stakeholders, including the media and civil society organizations, to brief them about the modalities for the collection of the PVCs. To security now, where some of the Chibok schoolgirls recently rescued by the military have been narrating their ordeal while in captivity of Boko Haram insurgents. They are appealing to the federal government to come to their aid in ensuring they return to school. Our correspondent Emperor Simon visited the rehabilitation center in Maiduguri, where the girls are being accommodated, and now reports.
Abducted as teenage schoolgirls, rescued as nursing mothers. These are the latest of the rescued Chibok girls who were abducted from their school over 8 years ago. 14 of them are recovering in this facility with their children.
Most of them have 2 or 3 children that they came back with, and as a ministry they have been undergoing psychosocial and other kind of supports, providing for them and their children, so that we bring succor to the trauma they have gone through, and to also prepare them for a greater and a better future.
On 14th April 2014, Boko Haram terrorists attacked the government girls' school Chibok and abducted 276 girls who were writing the senior secondary school certificate examination as at that time. Available record from the military shows 57 of the girls escaped in 2014, 107 were released in 2018, 5 were recovered between 2019 and 2021, while 11 have so far been rescued in 2022, bringing the total of the girls rescued to 180. Ruth Ngalada was only 14 when the incident happened. Now aged 24, she has 2 children for a man she says she was forced to have conjugal relationship with.
Lokacin muna karanta makaranta muna jin daɗi muna tare da iyayenmu suka zo suka ɗibe mu suka tafi da mu suka je suka raba mu da iyayenmu muna jin bakin ciki irin halin da suka je suka samu da kuma mun je ba rayuwa mai daɗi ba komai ba abin da ranka baya so shine a taimaka wajen.
Battling to hold back their tears, the agony of the 8 years of torturous experience in the camp of their abductors haunts their minds.
In the morning, you are see Boko Haram. In the night, you are see Boko Haram. Every blessed day, if they are like, they will beat you. And then you don't have mouth to talk for them because they say, we are buying of them. And then you don't have any...
That means you are slaves.
Yes, sir.
So they treated you more like slaves.
Yes, sir.
They just want to pick what's left of their lives.
My life is very, very bad. I'm begging government to take care of me very well because my education is very, very bad. And how can I live in this world without education?
In 2018, the federal government had promised to take care of the welfare and education of the Chibok school girls who were rescued as at that time. Though not much about the fulfillment of that promise is in the public space. However, for the latest rescued girls, it seems their hope is hanging in the balance as they honestly wait to see what plans the government has for them and their little ones, struggling to put up with the realities of what their lives have become.
14th February 2014 is one day that these girls behind me who have become women now will never forget in their lives. However, they want to pick up the pieces of their lives and move on. They want the government to support them. They want the society to support them. They say they want to become women of substance, women that will be recognized in the society. As far as they are concerned, they see hope. They see a light at the end of the tunnel. There are still 90 girls abducted from Chibok school in the captivity of the insurgents who are also hoping to join these ones someday. From Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
We hope they get some form of closure. In part 2, after the break, Nigeria's First Lady, Aisha Buhari, withdraws case against final year student of Federal University Dutse, Aminu Mohammed, who was accused of publishing defamatory statement on his Twitter handle against the First Lady. That's in a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Governors Nyesom Wike and Samuel Otom challenged President Muhammadu Buhari to name governors responsible for mismanaging local government allocations. Convener of Big Tent and political economist Professor Patti Tomi says Nigerians are ready to support the Labour Party to resist any attempts to rig the 2023 elections. Former Speaker of the House of Representatives and members of the Northern Leaders Consultative Forum endorsed PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar for president. And Russia says the West's refusal to recognize new territories seized from Ukraine makes peace talks harder after President Biden indicated he would be ready to meet President Putin. We're in the courts now. The Federal Capital Territory High Court Abuja has sentenced the former Vice-Chancellor of the Federal University, Gusau, Professor Magaji Garba, to 35 years in prison. He was found guilty of a 5-count charge bordering on obtaining money by false pretense and forgery. Delivering judgment in the suit filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Justice Mariam Aliyu held that the court was satisfied that the prosecution proved its case beyond reasonable doubt. According to the trial judge, the offence is contrary to Section 1, Subsection 1 and punishable under Section 1, Subsection 3 of the Advanced Fee Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act 2006. The court therefore sentenced him to 7 years on count 1, 2 and 3 without option of fine and 7 years imprisonment on counts 4 and 5 with option of 10 million naira fine each. The EFCC had accused the former Vice-Chancellor of extorting about 260 million naira from a contractor on the pretext of awarding him a 3 billion naira contract for the perimeter wall fencing of the university. Let's head to Abuja for more stories. Linda is ready. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Millicent. Now, staying with legal matters. Nigeria's First Lady, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, has withdrawn the case against a final-year student of the Federal University, Dutse, Aminu Adamu. Adamu was arrested by the police in Dutse for allegedly publishing a defamatory statement on his Twitter handle against the First Lady. After nearly 2 weeks in detention, he was arraigned on Tuesday, November 30th, before Justice Yusuf Halilu of the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Maitama, where he pleaded not guilty and was remanded at Suleja Prison in Niger State. The First Lady was one of the witnesses billed to testify against the accused. But withdrawing the case against the accused on Friday, the prosecution counsel, Fidelis Obobe, says the First Lady, as the mother of the nation, decided to withdraw the case following the intervention of well-meaning Nigerians. He relied on Section 108, Subsection 2A of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act to move the application for the withdrawal of the case. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, has approached the court to file a motion to set aside the contempt proceedings and committal order issued against him. In the motion filed before the Federal High Court in the Federal Capital Territory yesterday, the IGP highlighted grounds why the order should be set aside, including that he had not been appointed into office as IGP when the case was instituted and the reinstatement order in question granted. Police spokesperson Mr. Olumuyiwa Adejobi disclosed this in a statement today, explaining that the IGP has also affirmed that the contempt proceedings were served via substituted means in November 2018 and January 2019 on the then Inspector General of Police and not on him as incumbent. He notes that even before the assumption of office of the IGP, steps had been taken by his predecessors towards complying with the reinstatement of Patrick Okoli, the plaintiff, as ordered by the courts, which was evidenced by an official letter addressed to the Police Service Commission on the approval of the then IGP as far back as 2015, requesting the Commission to issue a reinstatement letter to the plaintiff and also effect his promotion in line with the order of the court and in the exercise of your statutory authority in that regard. The IGP reassures Nigerians of his unalloyed commitment and steadfastness in defending the rule of law and will not wittingly or unwittingly disobey any order validly granted by courts of competent jurisdiction. Away from legal stories, the Food and Agricultural Organization has signed a $6.3 million memorandum of understanding with the Norwegian embassy to support 300,000 persons in Borno, Adamawa, Yobe and Taraba states. The three-year intervention, according to the FAO representative in Nigeria, Mr. Fred Kafiro, will benefit 43,000 households who are mostly women and will be receiving agricultural inputs, high-yield seeds and livestock to boost food security in the nation's northeast region. On his part, the Norwegian ambassador, Mr. Nort Lane, explains that the initiative aims at enhancing resilience to the humanitarian crisis in the 4 northeastern states, as well as improving the livelihoods of persons affected by the insurgency and climate change.
Crisis in northeast Nigeria has resulted in massive internal displacement and a lot of human suffering. The issues of food insecurity, malnutrition, poverty have been issues that we've been dealing with ever since this conflict started. But the new dynamics came in. COVID-19 was one of those, and its lingering effects now. The conflict we are witnessing in Ukraine has added another dimension, disrupting supply chains for food, but also for agricultural inputs. We have also just recently witnessed the devastating floods throughout the country that has impacted on the most vulnerable, including in the northeast where we are. Recent analysis that we have done shows that nearly 4.5 million people in Borno, Adamawa, Yobe states alone may face serious food shortages in the lean season of next year. This is why this financial support from the government of Norway is timely and crucial for us to deal with assisting and scaling up the resilience building that we have been doing over the years.
In Anambra State, 5,000 newly recruited teachers have received their letters of appointment to begin their teaching vocation in the basic education and post-primary schools. Presenting the letters to the successful applicants at the International Convention Center, Awka, the state governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, congratulates and eulogizes teachers as a gracious set of people that embody the hope of a society. The recruitment, according to him, was done by merit, as the future of a generation must never be sacrificed on the altar of favoritism.
Arrival of the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, at the International Convention Center, Awka, gives way to a rousing welcome by the overflowing crowd of newly recruited teachers.
Wow.
Part of Governor Soludo's manifesto on education is a resolve to end the era of schools without teachers.
Secondary schools
To achieve that vision, the administration, barely 3 months upon assumption of office, commenced the process of teachers' recruitment into primary and secondary schools across the state.
We at Anambra State University Education Board, ASUBEB, are very happy and grateful to him for giving us 2,500 prospective teachers out of 5,000 who are to teach in the state primary schools. That has suffered lack of teachers over the decades.
I once again congratulate you and plead with you to be committed to this profession. Teaching profession is a noble profession. Do not soil the image of teaching profession. As soon as you collect your letters of appointment from your employment, you are advised to report straight to your schools and collect your assumption of duty certificate. Then report back to PPSSC for complete final documentation.
The State Commissioner for Education gives assurances that the exercise will not stop at recruitment only, but there will be teachers upgrade and training for both the new teachers and others who are amenable to learning.
We are going to continue to train you. This is just the first step. After this, we will embark on a continual upgrade of teachers' training. And the essence of employing people of your age is to get people who are still amenable to learning.
The emotion-laden Governor Soludo eulogizes the teachers as the greatest set who embody the hope of the society.
As the saying goes, quote, if you want to predict the future of any society, examine the quality of its teachers and the quality of teaching, end of quote. The teaching profession is the most important profession, as everyone was once taught by a teacher. As a teacher myself, I understand what it means when teachers are empowered to work. Our plan will work towards professionalism and unique Anambra teachers with special Anambra certification based on quality, capacity building, and competencies. Lifelong learning tools will be provided and teachers will be motivated and rewarded appropriately.
The presentation of appointment letters to newly recruited teachers is a major feature of the event.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's forex reserve dipped for the 13th consecutive week to $37.11 billion. That's on Business News. Join us again. Hey, welcome back to the news at 10, coming to you live from Abuja. Property owners of the right-of-way of the second Niger Bridge project have appealed to the federal government to make good its promise to pay compensation. According to the group, assurances of compensation for complete takeover of their properties by the federal government has been made before now, but 5 years down the line, the promise made them is yet to be fulfilled.
The second Niger Bridge, one project many Nigerians have been looking forward to, is near completion. But some persons have had to sacrifice their property for the project to come to fruition. Properties within the right-of-way corridor leading to the second Niger Bridge, including phases 2A, Akwe through Asaba, Ibusa, Akwanam, and phase 2B Obosi through Nkwo, Umoji, Ogidi, Ogbunike to Enugu Expressway in Anambra State, were compulsorily acquired by the federal government for the purpose of constructing the access road to the bridge. 5 years down the line, owners of these properties are aggrieved. They expressed their displeasure in a protest where they claim the government is yet to pay compensation after promising to do so. They're here at the premises of the Federal Ministry of Works and of Housing in Asaba, the Delta State capital.
They told us that they have compulsorily acquired our properties and we should not go there again. For the past 5 years, nothing has been said, nothing has been done.
We are here today to tell the president that we have not been compensated and we want compensation.
A widow among the protesters narrates how difficult life has been for her since she was asked to vacate the property.
I am suffering. Since 2014, my husband died. No money to feed my children. No school to pay my money to pay school fees for my children. I am suffering. I built that house. I cannot do anything with it. No money. Nothing. I cannot stay in the barrack continuously. I want to live for 5 years. Nothing is happening.
After some minutes, staff from the Ministry of Works and Housing, who refused to speak with journalists, received their letter of complaint.
Now, I can't receive it. I'm in housing.
Okay, you are in work?
I am in housing. I came from housing. Okay. So if it's for housing, I receive housing.
It's for works. This housing, this one, the one for housing. We have two. This for housing.
I receive housing.
Yes.
The second Niger Bridge is one project many believe will help reduce the traffic on the older bridge. But for these ones that have sacrificed their property for the common good of all, a roundtable discussion is suggested to be necessary in order to achieve a win-win situation.
That's all from Abuja. Back to you, Millicent.
Thank you, Linda. And more landlords are beginning to emerge from the Globalcom, that is, Festival of Joy promo as Nigeria's foremost telecommunications company rewards one of its lucky winners with a 3-bedroom apartment in Abuja. Globalcom, a leading indigenous telecommunications company, is hoping to reward its subscribers through this Festival of Joy promo with 20 houses, 24 exotic cars, sewing machines and other prizes. Officials of the company say the promo, which runs till the end of January next year, is part of their commitment to improving the welfare of its customers.
Mr. Okorie Ruben becomes the latest lucky winner of the Globalcom Festival of Joy promo, a special package the company says it's designed to put smiles on the faces of its subscribers.
Good for accommodating the best of humanity in our lifetime.
It's all joy for Mr. Okorie, his friends and his family, as the keys to the house, a 3-bedroom apartment with a boys' quarter and security post, are handed over to him. This mansion is one of the 20 earmarked for Glo subscribers in the ongoing Festival of Joy promo. 20 houses, 24 exotic cars, and 200 sewing machines are among the prizes for grabs in the ongoing Glo Festival of Joy promo.
Our commitment to the total well-being of our subscribers and the realization that shelter is one of the key needs in life have fueled our desire to help some of them own houses of their own through this promo. This kind of prize is unprecedented, as no brand, I repeat, no brand in the industry has ever offered or presented such to their customers before.
From a single-room occupant as a tenant to a 3-bedroom owner with a boys' quarter, Mr. Okorie runs out of words to express how he feels.
God will, I don't know what I will ask God to do for Glo, but Glo will never go bankrupt. Glo will continue from strength to strength. They will lift more Nigerians, they will lift more people out of poverty, because I'm a shining example of who Glo has led out of poverty.
Apart from the winner, government officials commend the management of Globalcom for the initiative.
If all of us are touching lives like this, there'll be less crime, there'll be less tension. Everybody will be happy and see that we can do something to add value to people in this country. You can see this man, he lives in a 1-room before today, but today is the owner of a 3-bedroom house with also boys' quarters, 2 rooms. So for me, his life has changed.
3 houses gone, 17 more to go, with lots of other prizes including cars, sewing machines and power generating sets for grabs. The Yuletide season is really a festival of joy for Glo subscribers in Nigeria.
And Mikano International Motors Division, one of Nigeria's fastest-growing automotive companies, has added the Maxus Auto brand to its car portfolio with the Maxus T60 pickup vehicle. At the launch ceremony in Lagos, the general manager, Mikano Motors, Ralph Haider, stated that everything from the suspension to the airbags in the T60 pickup is supplied by international brands, adding that Maxus Autos is a brand with great potential to become a market leader. According to the automotive company, the Maxus T60 will be assembled locally at Mikano Motors assembly plants located in Ogun State.
The Mikano Motors showroom welcomes guests to the unveiling of the new addition to its family, the Maxus brand.
This is another monumental event for us at Mikano Motors. We are welcoming a brand that is very well known. We are welcoming a brand into the Mikano Motors fold that is one of the 4 biggest auto brands from China. This brand is a very special brand, and we are very optimistic that this brand will do very well in Nigeria.
The Maxus brand comes with a T60 pickup, the only Chinese pickup vehicles permitted to be sold in European markets, and also the first Chinese manufactured utility pickup truck to score 5 stars on the Australian ANCAP rating. Its strength and durability comes from the Mitsubishi-powered engine with a Borg-Warner 4-wheel drive system and other parts supplied by international brands.
The suspension of the car Very well-known brands such as Bosch, Germany, Valeo, France, and so many other brands as well.
The T60 also comes in 3 gasoline variations: Comfort, Elite and Luxury, with manual and automatic options.
Shocks makes it very, very good for when you go off-road.
One other form of advantage is its off-road ability, demonstrated here.
So my love for trucks I've dated way back since I was in primary school actually, and I've always loved it because of, you know, the ground clearance and all that. And then seeing this Maxus T60 from Meccano, my love for trucks have skyrocketed.
With a 5-year and 130,000 kilometer warranty, Meccano Motors says with a T60 you can drive to the max.
More company news now. Beiersdorf, Nigeria, makers of Nivea products have officially introduced the new Luminous 630 range into the Nigerian market. Luminous 630 is a breakthrough innovation of Nivea scientists aimed at visibly reducing dark marks in 4 weeks and balances melanin production to prevent new spots.
After 10 years of research and screening of over 50,000 compounds, scientists at Beiersdorf, makers of Nivea products, have finally made a breakthrough innovation, the Luminous 630. And this launch signals its entry into the Nigerian market.
The history of this product today that we're launching, you know.
Luminous 630, Even Glow, Concentrated Serum and Day Fluid helps to visibly reduce up to 10 years of dark marks in 4 weeks, as well as balance new melanin production to prevent the appearance of new spots.
We call it Luminous 630 because we have to test a molecule from 1 to 630, and that's when we got the right patent, the right molecule that will do the work. And the way it works is just pure science by naturally regulating your enzymes that produces melanin.
Dark marks on the face are common in both genders, but they're more prevalent amongst women. And Beiersdorf, after listening to the needs of consumers, came up with a solution for them.
Beiersdorf is, as a global skincare brand, right? We take care of your entire body or your entire skin. So we decided to find a core issue that lady consumers have, or what our consumers have told us over time that they need, and then went back to research and present that solution to basically handle something that has always been a concern in the market, which is dark marks.
We have selected 120 outlets that this product can be found across the likes of ShopRite and Inspired, Marketware, a couple of other outlets. There are also quite a number of trade partners that we're partnering with to ensure that the product is continuously available.
I see the results and I am ecstatic. I can take my face anywhere. And
the Luminous 630 has been tested on some Nigerian users who say they are loving the journey.
My favorite Nivea product is the Luminous 630.
Dark marks can be caused by excessive sun exposure, hormonal changes or aging. And Beiersdorf says Luminous 630 has been proven to lighten and reduce their size.
Now time for some business news. Here's Will Ibong. Thanks, Millicent. Nigeria's forex reserves has dropped further for the 13th consecutive week by $59.56 million to $37.11 billion. And that's according to latest data from the central bank's website as of November the 30th. Meanwhile, the annual bankers' dinner last week, the central bank governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, revealed that the official foreign exchange receipts from crude oil sales into the country's FX reserves had declined steadily from $3 billion monthly in 2014 to $0 in 2022. Now, there's a provision to tax cryptocurrency and other digital assets in the 2022 Finance Bill, and this is according to the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed. She made this known at the extraordinary virtual meeting of the National Economic Council, where she clarified that the taxation of cryptocurrency and other digital assets is in line with the government's policy thrust of enhancing cross-border and international taxation of growing e-commerce with emerging markets.
Last year, Nigeria's central bank's governor directed banks in the country to close accounts of persons or entities involved in cryptocurrency transactions within their systems, warning that they are used to fund illegal dealings. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, officially recognizes digital assets such as cryptocurrency as a tradable security. Nigeria's headline Purchasing Managers Index rose to 54.3 in November from 53.6 recorded in October, pointing to a solid improvement in business conditions in the private sector. Also, new business increased at the fastest pace in 6 months amid reports of stronger demand and higher customer numbers, while output rose in each of the 5 months. At the same time, new order growth also encouraged companies to expand their employment and purchasing activity. The rate of growth in purchasing activity was the highest in 4 months. Staffing levels increased for the 22nd straight month, the fastest pace since August. Similarly, inventories also expanded at a marked pace, while purchase costs rose at a sharper pace due to higher foreign exchange rates and elevated inflationary pressures. However, despite the positive picture we're seeing, business confidence continued to decline as it dropped to the lowest since January 2014. And the U.S. economy has added more jobs than expected in November, despite the Federal Reserve's aggressive efforts to slow the labor market and tackle inflation. According to latest data by the Labor Department, non-farm payrolls increased to 263,000 for the month, while unemployment rate was 3.7%. Meanwhile, economists had been looking for an increase of 200,000 on the payrolls number. Leisure and hospitality led the job gains, adding 88,000 positions. And the equities market bounced in today's trading session as the all-share index crossed into the 48,000 level. Let's get the details from Ladi Williams.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report, and today we have a strong rally for the second trading day in December and the last for the week. And it's a good one there. If you look at the all-share index there, it's 1.04%. We're hitting this 48,154 level, breaking that resistance at 47,000 there. We might be heading to 50 with the way it's looking. Market cap 26.22 trillion, so a new level for the market cap and the all-share index. Let's look at the activity chart there. Just the volume in the red, 159 million units of stocks traded, valued at 5.04 billion naira. Big move we're seeing with value today, thanks to MTN Nigeria and Airtel Africa, the two telco giants there propping up the market today. Deals 3,080. Let's look at the sectoral performance now. We see banking breaking that winning streak there. It's down 0.31%. We see consumer goods up 0.40%. Oil and gas up 0.43%. And it's a good way to end the week with 22 gainers against 13 decliners and a positive week performance. And that's the Stock Market Report. I'm Ladi Williams. It's back to you.
And that's it on Business News. It's back to Millicent for the rest of the news.
Thanks, Will. We're back in Abuja, where the economic community of West African states is to remove roadblocks of regional integration by investing time and resources on reducing tariff and non-tariff barriers in West Africa. They were the words of the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Mr. Omar Toure, at the opening of the 89th session, ordinary session, of ECOWAS Council of Ministers meeting.
Members of the diplomatic corps, representatives of international organizations, commissioners and ministers from the ECOWAS sub-region have converged on Abuja for the 89th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers meeting. The focal point of discourse here is regional integration, trade and security, which are integral to the plans of the ECOWAS Commission.
We have identified 4 strategic objectives that would be the focus of our management in the next 4 years. We call these the Commission's 4x4. These are enhanced peace and security in the region,
deeper economic integration, good governance, inclusive and sustainable development.
Nigeria's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, says the interests of the citizens of community states must be paramount, as the challenges threatening the region, including food insecurity, must be at the front burner of discussions.
An organ charged with the task of promoting economic integration in all fields of activities in our region, it is imperative that we fashion out and strengthen mechanisms for the advancement of that course of action.
The chairman of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers, Suzy Barbosa, underscores the importance of strengthening good governance in order to overcome the challenges of the region. She spoke in Portuguese.
Our sub-region has also faced violent extremism and terrorism, and we continue to experience even new challenges, and these have made fragile our member states and our community, hence the need to strengthen good governance and development.
The new ministers are thereafter sworn in. For the next few days, the Economic Community of West African States will be deliberating and proffering lasting solutions to issues bordering on the West African sub-region, which includes food security, violent extremism, and obstacles of trade and more.
Some international news now. Russian President Vladimir Putin is willing to hold peace talks with Ukraine, but first he wants the West to recognize new territories annexed a couple of months ago in Ukraine. Simon Pusa has more in Around the World in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Russia says the West's refusal to recognize new territories seized from Ukraine makes peace talks harder after President Joe Biden indicated he would be ready to meet Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin said it was open to negotiations but wouldn't accept the West's demand to pull out of Ukraine. Russia illegally annexed 4 Ukrainian regions at the end of September without controlling any of them. 9 months into its invasion, it has lost more than half the land it seized.
We have huge challenges in our democracies.
On a state visit to the US, France's Emmanuel Macron made clear that he and Mr. Biden had agreed they would never urge the Ukrainians to make a compromise that would not be acceptable for them.
Look, there's one way for this war to end, the rational way. Putin to pull out of Ukraine, number one. But it appears he's not going to do that.
President Biden told reporters that he was ready to meet the Russian leader if in fact there is an interest in him deciding that he's looking for a way to end the war.
Bombing nurseries, hospitals, children's homes. It's sick what he's doing. But the fact of the matter is, I have no immediate plans to contact Mr. Putin. I'm prepared to speak with Mr. Putin if in fact there is an interest in him deciding he's looking for a way to end the war. He hasn't done that yet.
South Africa's rand has stabilized following a steep sell-off the day before. The currency had at one stage plunged more than 4% on speculation that Cyril Ramaphosa was going to resign after a panel report found preliminary evidence he may have violated the constitution. The damning report suggested he may have covered up the theft of $4 million in cash from his farm in 2020. It's been widely reported that Mr. Ramaphosa has already decided to quit, but is being persuaded by allies to think again. A brawl has broken out in Senegal's parliament after a male opposition lawmaker slapped a female colleague. Television footage showed the incident, which underscores growing acrimony between the ruling and opposition party politicians. Video of the fight has been shared widely on social media, also sparking a debate about violence against women. With blows, insults and accusations flying, the session was suspended. Drone images show the extent of heavy flooding in the municipality of Canalina in southern Brazil. Torrential rains submerged houses and roads, and rescue boats were seen monitoring the affected area. Donations such as clothes, non-perishable food and cleaning and hygiene materials to help families affected by the floods were currently being collected in the region for distribution to those affected. Flooding at this time of the year around Brazil is common and has caused devastation for decades. Eyewitnesses have caught the moment after a Canadian Pacific Railway freight train derailed near the village of Macun in Canada. A couple were travelling along Highway 39 near the village when they noticed the derailed train with large plumes of smoke rising some 30 metres into the air.
Oh, I'm videotaping.
It's been reported the train burst into flames with the smoke affecting visibility in the area. Highway 39 was closed in both directions, police said, with drivers asked to avoid the area. Kanye West has been suspended from Twitter and accused of inciting violence over offensive tweets just 2 months after his last ban. The US rapper posted a series of erratic tweets, one of which appeared to show a symbol combining a swastika and a Jewish star. Musk tweeted that West had violated our rule against incitement to violence. And onlookers have been flocking to Hawaii's Mauna Loa, the world's largest active volcano, that this week began erupting for the first time since 1984 for a glimpse of the lava flows. As Hawaii's Emergency Management Agency said, there were no signs that the lava will threaten populated areas. Hundreds of people, including families with children still in their pajamas, started arriving near the summit. They pulled up with camping chairs and settled in to watch the natural phenomenon.
The scary thing is lava flows from Mauna Loa can reach any side of the island, and she is a massive volcano. But it's a humbling experience to get to see, a once-in-a-lifetime potentially opportunity to see how long this eruption lasts, and if there's another one, who knows when that will be.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.
Many thanks, Simon. Welcome to Sports News. Uruguay have crashed out of the World Cup in goals scored despite beating Ghana, who also exited the tournament by 2-0. While the Uruguayans were the first goals scored, had it in the group stages, and it proved to be pivotal to their World Cup exit despite the victory. South Korea have dramatically reached the last 16 of this year's tournament. That's the FIFA World Cup on goals scored after Hee Chun-hwang struck a 91st-minute winner to beat Portugal in Al Rayyan. Only twice before in their history had South Korea advanced to the knockout stages of the World Cup. Meanwhile, Brazil have secured top spot in Group G and a round of 16 meeting with South Korea, despite a shock 1-0 defeat to the indomitable Lions of Cameroon at the Lusail iconic stadium. A deep in stoppage time, Vincent Abubakar ghosted between Brazilian defenders to head home a shock winner for the Cameroonians, who crashed out of the tournament and also became the first African side ever to beat Brazil. And that's a wrap on Sports News.
And the main news again. Governors Nyesom Wike and Samuel Otom today challenged President Muhammadu Buhari to name the governors that are responsible for mismanaging local government allocations. The two governors who exonerated themselves from the allegation were speaking during the commissioning of a road project in Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State. That's your news at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Melissa Walker. Have a good night and a great weekend.